I'm a believer that I really don't know everything. And so it is good to have a variety of opinions. It's good to have those opinions because it helps us to make better decisions. And we can always improve and always do better.
What is the perfect bite? That mix of flavors, textures, colors, and aromas that come together in one amazing amuse-bouche. Big ideas expressed in small bites. That's our podcast, a variety of inspiring topics to make your financial goals and dreams a reality.
Brought to you by Clark County Credit Union for your weekly serving of food reviews, financial education, and life hacks that your future self will appreciate. It's the perfect bite of interesting information to start your week. Welcome to episode 55 of The Perfect Bite. I'm Crystal Price.
And I'm Shannon Hiller. Let's dig in. We love trying new dishes here at The Perfect Bite, and Nevada Chicken Cafe is one of our healthy favorites. Next, as with every fifth episode, we are welcoming a special guest. Today, we're interviewing Clark County Credit Union CEO, Matt Kershaw. And finally, to help out your future self, we'll share some of the health benefits of olive oil.
Each week on The Perfect Bite, we'll visit a locally owned Southern Nevada restaurant that we hope will become your new favorite. This week, we're sharing a personal favorite, Nevada Chicken Cafe. Have you ever been there, Shannon?
I have. I used to work down the street from there, and we go there all the time.
Yep.
Except for, I know they roast and like smoke stuff right there on site, right? So I would never wear like nice clothes there because
I wanted to soak it up. Like if I roll the windows down, like, okay, I'm getting close.
I'm like, oh, I have
so
to wash
if you're
my
in
hair
the
now
area, Nevada Chicken Cafe, they're located off of Jones and Charleston. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't miss it. If
you like smell your way
roll
there.
Your windows down. You will smell it. Follow the scent to the chicken. They were founded actually in 2005, and their philosophy is to serve superior quality food at a reasonable price. When I worked down there, and I used to go all the time, that would be like my payday spot. Like payday, okay, I got money. I'm gonna go get
a little bit more than us. Not a splurge,
yeah,
but
not a Taco Bell joint. But it was a lot of fun and super good. And I was down there the other day, and again, just the memories came back of the chicken. So I had to stop and get a meal. It's one of those places really where you can get like fresh food. It's kind of like a home cooked rotisserie. All the side items, baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, things like that. It turns out they actually have a second location, which I didn't know about, in the Arroyo Crossings Parkway.
I think that's southwest part of town.
Yeah, yeah. So they've got those two places. I haven't been to that one before. But yeah, if you pull up, they're smoking the meat literally outside the door. What I ordered when I went was the combo, a 1/4 pound chicken breast with the wing and a side of mac and cheese. That came to $8.95. So
that is a good deal.
Reasonable deal, comparable to even the fast food places now. And it was super good. It tastes like a homemade meal. Honestly,
I think I used to get the salad. I would get the salad with the rotisserie pulled.
I never had the salad. You know me, I'm all about the meat. So, but they cook all their items there. Nothing is from the freezer. Rotisserie chicken is their specialty, and they also have ribs, wings, baked beans, mashed potatoes, salads, fruit salads, wraps, soups. They even have the family meals, which I just discovered. So kind of like if you go to like KFC and you order like the family meal and you get like the bucket and the same thing there, but it's fresher, not from the freezer. So check it out. I think what I'll get when I go next time is the family meal. I've never tried it. So the family meal, it says it comes with 2 whole rotisseries, 4 sides, and a salad. So it's a complete meal, and that will be a great time for me to try it with my family. My recommendation is that if you do come during the week, if it's a lunchtime, a lot of the people that work over there, like me and Shannon mentioned, we did go there all the time, so come prepared to wait. It is a neighborhood favorite. If you at home have a recommendation for a restaurant or a dish for us to try, send us a message at theperfectbite@cccculv.com. We're always open to new ideas. Next up, we have a special guest with us, Matt Kershaw, CCCU's Chief Executive Officer.
Welcome to the show, Matt.
Hello, how you guys doing? Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for coming by.
We figured we better have our boss on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only the 55th episode, so why not, right? We wanted to get
good before we invited you.
We needed some practice.
So before we jump into our questions, would you just share a little bit about your history with the credit union?
Sure.
Maybe your financial background, where you've worked, and let us know.
Well, I've been at the credit union for 18 years, which is the longest
Congrats.
place I've ever been. I guess that's probably pretty normal if somebody's worked at the same place for 18 years, but been there for 18 years. Before that, I was worked in different banks, and so I was at different banks for about 7 years, so 25 years total in banking, and been in Las Vegas for 20 years. Started my banking career in commercial banking, specifically commercial lending, and then just came to the credit union and started the commercial lending program at the credit union, and then kind of just worked my way through some of the lending areas and got familiar with consumer lending a little bit more, which is interesting and has its own way that you have to offer rates and different products and programs that are great and just a different level of engagement than in commercial lending. So it's definitely a different world. But, that was my background, and I really enjoyed being at the credit union. It's been a great place to be. That's why I've stayed for 18 years and really love the credit union and the great things that we do for our members.
And you have an accounting background as well. How do you feel like that plus all those other roles, how do they kind of contribute to what you do today as a CEO?
Yeah. So accounting, I think really I always felt when I was taking accounting that it was the best of all business degrees. So sorry for all those others. But it just really helps you understand the financials of any bank statement or any business and their financial statements. And I think that's important to understand how the business works. And so I had an undergraduate degree in accounting and an MBA just a general MBA. But really feel like that's important because one of the most important parts of banking is really understanding how to balance your balance sheet, or how to manage, I guess is probably a better way to say that, your balance sheet, and make sure that you're in a good position at all times to be able to offer better rates, better loan programs and things like that. And you need to be aware of those things to make sure that we're financially strong and able to offer those things, and at the same time be around for the next 50 years. So
maybe this is a good time to ask you some questions about things facing our industry right now. There's been some major bank closures in Northern California affecting lots of different companies, and people are concerned about their financial institutions. What would you say? What are you observing in the market right now? And
so 2 big bank closures just recently, Silicon Valley Bank and also Signature Bank, which Silicon Valley Bank was the second largest bank closure as far as asset size in the history in the history of banking.
I didn't know that.
And the big reason why they faced the problems that they faced is because they had a lot of uninsured deposits. So it's about 85% of their deposits were uninsured, and so what that means is those deposits were over $250,000 in their account, for example. So anything over that, they were at
had
risk.
Insurance, but those accounts were above the insured amount.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And so that uninsured amount, people were nervous about it, and because it was so large, they were pulling out deposits so fast that it caused them to have a liquidity problem, and they basically couldn't afford to manage that. And so that is problematic, but that really goes a lot to the way that they were structured and the type of people they did business with. Clark County Credit Union, we do business more with our community. Our deposits on average aren't nearly the size of what...
Because those are like venture capitalist funds, huge amounts coming in. And we have solid members, but not zillions of dollars that are coming in.
Not $10 million in one account is not normal for us, right? So we have a pretty diverse base of depositors. And because of that, we don't have a lot of uninsured deposits. But what you can do is you can go and talk to your bank or credit union and say, are my deposits insured, and what do I need to do to make them insured? And for Clark County Credit Union, you can open up several different accounts, and through that you could insure up to $10 million through a variety of different accounts. So it's just about staying on top of that, making sure that you have those deposits insured and you're comfortable with where you're at.
I think that's cool about the credit union is that it's not per person. Like some other institutions, you're insured just for an amount for you.
Social. Yeah.
Exactly. But this is per account. So there's, like you said, strategies to make sure that you're covered. So thank you.
Yeah. Not a problem.
So recently we were named a top workplace by the Review Journal. What are some of the things that you think set us apart from others and to make our work environment more desirable to job seekers?
Well, I think one of the things that we have here at the credit union is we've got an environment that really allows people to come in with their own thoughts and come in with some of the things that they think are important for them, and be able to express those and come in and have a different point of view and not always have just a singular position that we think is the best position. And I'm a believer that I really don't know everything, and so it is good to have a variety of opinions. It's good to have those opinions because it helps us to make better decisions, and we can always improve and always do better. And because of that, it's good to have those voices, and I think employees in general feel that
I would agree.
that improves.
I've worked for the big bank. Like, that was one of my first jobs, and it was pretty much you just come in, do your job, go home. Come in, do your job, go home. There was no conversations with management, but here the culture is definitely, inviting. You can speak to your manager, you can speak to the CEO. You have regular meetings, and our employees feel comfortable and safe to approach you with their concerns or the things that they're happy with. So I like it.
All right. So, Matt, being a financial institution, we don't have shareholders, but we do have a board of directors who we report to and that you work with directly. How do you work with the board concerning the credit union and things that kind of require their attention, or what's your day-to-day relationship with our board of directors?
Yeah, so I do meet with them on a regular basis, so at least once a month, and sometimes more frequently than that. And then, of course, I have conversations with them outside of our regular board meeting, which is once a month. But during that once a month board meeting, which is really kind of the highlight of every month for the board and for me and for the credit union in general, is we talk about the financial conditions of the credit union. We talk about things like liquidity, which we just talked about a few minutes ago. We talk about our net worth and is it strong enough? And we have really good net worth right now. We're over 12%, which is a really strong number. So we talk about those things, and we talk about things like what just happened in the industry and what the impact would be to the credit union, so that they're on top of and aware of all the things that they need to be on top of, so that they can make sure that the credit union is financially strong, financially viable, and will continue on, for the next 100 years plus. So that's a lot of my interaction with the board. We review policy, we review all of the things that we need to review just to make sure that we're innovative, and at the same time that we're minding the value of our assets and liabilities and our balance sheet.
I feel like they do a really good job of they ask tough questions, but they also are supportive and ask of you, what would you recommend? They know that you're in the trenches, but they ask the questions that get us all thinking. They do a good job of that.
Yeah.
And they want proof too. I think sometimes people join boards and it's just for, the resume. Yeah. So not our board.
Yeah. Well, and they're all volunteer, and they're in our community.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, and they've had a long history in our community and are well known and are good people that really have the best interest of the credit union in mind.
Speaking of their volunteers, you were also a volunteer of sorts for the Nevada Credit Union League. You were the previous chairman of the board. Can you tell us how being the chairman benefits? And I guess you're on the board now. So how does that benefit credit unions as a whole, credit unions in Nevada and Clark County Credit Union in particular?
Yeah. So one of the big things that we do at the league, and one of the things that's most important, is we support credit unions across Nevada. And one of the important ways we do that is we meet with our legislators and elected officials to talk about the importance of credit unions across the state, the services that we offer, the things that we provide to our membership, and why we're so necessary to our economy, and how we help people financially become financially secure and better in their own personal lives. So that we continue to promote that message through the Nevada Credit Union League. And so being on the board, we work with a lot of the credit unions in the state, and we talk about the things that are important for credit unions, talk about ways that we can improve, talk about legislation that might be upcoming to help make sure that there aren't any unintended consequences that come with them. And so that's a lot of what we do at the league.
Yeah, I think we were recently at a conference in Washington, D.C., and there were lots of comments about how nice and cooperative the Nevada group was, and that everyone works together really well, and other states were saying that. So
That's
I thought
kind
that
of
was
weird
pretty
to
cool.
hear that there are uncooperative.
Right, I know.
Okay, well, good job, Matt.
Yeah, I know. It's like they're all working together because it will benefit everybody in the long run when credit unions are strong.
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
I thought that
makes
was
sense.
cool.
I mean, you should be.
Yeah. All right, Matt, outside of work and your volunteering, what do you do for fun? What are your hobbies?
What are my hobbies? I actually like to hike a lot. I work through church. I work with young men, and we go on camp outs. So we went on a camp out recently down to Ringbolt Hot Springs, and camped out overnight. And it's about a 2.5 mile hike in, I think, is what it was. And
Is that Nevada?
it's in Nevada. It's right on the Nevada-Arizona border, right down by the Colorado River. There's like a bunch of different hot springs down there, and it was fun. We hiked down there, slept out underneath the stars, and then right by the river, and then got in the hot springs a little bit and enjoyed them, and then hiked back out the next day. So it was fun.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
What about your MMA? I can't even call it kickboxing. It sounds more intense than that.
Yeah, so I like doing that.
If you wanna talk about
That's my exercise. I like to exercise. And so I'm at the UFC gym. So they do MMA classes, which are, you can punch a heavy bag or just kind of spar with somebody else. Not really spar, but just basically practice with somebody else. And because I really don't want to get hit that bad, but I do like the exercise and the movement and the throwing the punches is kind of fun. So
Get out your aggressions from the day. Go.
Right.
and it's good to hit a heavy bag because it doesn't hit back.
Yeah,
so
and I go to tennis and do a couple good thwacks, and my teacher's always like, "Well, what happened at work today?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "It's my kids."
Oh, good. I'm glad you're saying it's your kids because
Yeah.
I was wondering if it had anything to do with me.
No,
My boss.
Usually not. Usually not.
Usually.
Usually,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Edit that out, everybody. No.
Thank you for joining us on The Perfect Bite, Matt. Before you go, though, we do have 2 questions that we like to ask all of our guests. The first question is, what is your favorite restaurant? And what is your favorite dish when you go there?
Yeah, so I just tried this restaurant not too long ago. It's called Amano Pizza Restaurant, and it is got the best pizza that I've ever tried. Okay, so I'm not trying to downplay that at all. It was really good. They had a lot of other stuff there that when my wife and I were there, we were looking around and we're like, oh, we should have ordered that or we should have ordered that because it looked really good.
Where are they located?
They're right off Tenaya right near Tenaya and Ann Road.
Okay.
And
I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was really good. And the pizza the next day was even, better. You know how you warm it up the next day
Yeah,
and have
sometimes it's
leftovers.
like you've got that little window, and if you miss it, so okay, you can do it the next day.
So
too.
good.
Was it expensive? Like, how many dollar signs on Yelp would you was it pretty reasonable?
Good question. It was really
You like to
reasonable.
share that?
It wasn't too much. I can't remember exactly, but we weren't dying or anything like that at the cost.
It wasn't a splurge. Okay.
No.
Amanos. Okay.
We're more of a non-splurge type of couple. We like to
Financially
go.
responsible couple.
We like to go to places that are good price and good food and good service, and they had all those things. So.
Follow-up question. Did you warm up the pizza in the air fryer?
No, I just put it in the microwave.
Oh, you gotta try the air fryer.
I don't have
Do you
an air fryer. I don't have an air
Oh,
fryer.
Okay, Christmas
So-
gift.
Yeah. Seriously, I don't know what we did before the air fryer, and I saw this thing. I was like, "Why are we so obsessed with the air fryer?" And then it cut to a video of playing with those easy bake ovens.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "This
Right,
is
just
very
slide it
similar."
in, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Which
love it
those
so
are
much.
dangerous, right? I mean, right? Like you have undercooked
I know, right? It's
whatever
very
in
good.
those.
Your 8-year-old's cook making you a cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Air fryer pizza, though, it's the best. All right, and our last question: what is one piece of financial advice you can give to our listeners they can implement right away and improve their finances?
Yeah. So for me, I like to think of finances in general as kind of like from a big picture because I think it's more motivational for me. So one thing that I've always really liked to do is to calculate net worth individually so that when I set goals and things like that, I know what I'm working towards. So, your net worth is all of your assets, your bank accounts, your home. Those are kind of your big ones. If you have a 401k, those types of things, add all those up. And then your liabilities, which would be your home loan, if you got a car loan, credit card, those types of things. And those are your liabilities. And you take your assets minus your liabilities, and that's your net worth. But as your net worth grows, you become stronger and stronger individually as an individual and financially in preparation for retirement and stuff like that. And so I think for me, I really like to monitor that and make sure that it's at the forefront of my mind, so that when I go to set a budget for myself, or when I go to make spending decisions or buy something and have to get a loan on it, I know what my net worth is going to be and what the impact my net worth is going to be, and that helps me to keep the appropriate level of spending
really smart
under
to
control.
Visualize it, like, that's going to bring me down. I don't know if I really want to do that.
Yeah, and it's not bad to get a loan by any means. You have to get a loan to buy a home, and so it's important to have those types of things. But it's also important to make sure and manage it in the overall net worth scheme of things, especially from my perspective. Yeah.
We do have a net worth calculator on our website through Bonsai. If you go to our ccculv.org, you can look up our financial education tools and put in your own net worth. So that's awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Matt, for being with us today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Fun little 20 minutes, 30 minutes that we got to chat. So I appreciate it.
We'll be right back after a break to hear from our sponsor.
Clark County Credit Union members have received more than $73 million in bonus dividends since 2001 just for using the credit union services they need every day. Since CCCU is owned by our account holders, they earn the dividend, not shareholders. This year, we returned a $2.6 million bonus dividend to members with auto loans, credit cards, and checking accounts. Open an account today and start earning your own bonus dividend. Funds privately insured by American Share Insurance.
Next up is our Future Self segment inspired by the Happiness Project. A few weeks ago, I was reading a CNN business headline and it said, Starbucks' new drinks have a spoonful of olive oil in every cup. I was like, ew, yuck. But I was like, well, I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, we did talk about Italian food. So
we did. So after reading this headline, I did a deep dive into the internet and I wanted to know why. Why would they do this? Why would they change this fabulous drink and add oil to it? So right now, this addition of olive oil is only happening in the Italy Starbucks locations. There's what they call the Oleato Latte with oat milk and olive oil, the Oleato Ice Shaken Espresso with oat milk, and that's got a hazelnut flavor with the olive oil. And they've also got the Oleato Golden Foam Cold Brew made with a version of the Starbucks Sweet Milk Foam infused with 2 olive oil servings. So versions of these drinks are going to be coming to Southern California in the spring, with more details about the U.S. launch to come. So went back to my deep dive. I'm like, okay, what are the benefits of adding olive oil? There's got to be some reason why they're doing this. But before we jump into that, Shannon, how does this sound to you?
Greasy. No. It made me actually think of Weight Watchers would encourage you to have a healthy oil serving every day.
Okay.
And you would actually, this was like 10, 12 years ago when they first started doing this. And you would check that off on your, like, tracking your vegetables, tracking your water. And you would track also, most people did olive oil or like avocado oil.
Yeah.
And that it was a healthy fat and good for you. So it did kind of make me think, like, well, there's something
Maybe
there.
there is something. Yeah.
That
No, same thing. I think recently I've been, instead of doing like vegetable oil or like a canola oil, I've been doing olive oil. That's the healthy choice. So I'm like, maybe there's something to it. Let's keep diving.
Maybe I shouldn't share this, but I was out at the dog park or walking our dogs, and this dog had just this most beautiful shiny coat.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was like glowing, and I was like, oh my gosh, your dog is beautiful. And I am not a dog person, so that was like talking to the random person, and they go, oh, we put olive oil in our dog's food every day.
Oh my gosh.
And like it just makes them healthy and like
shiny bouncy hair.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Matt's gonna try it.
I'm trying. I need something for my coat,
So if it works for the golden retriever, why not?
Yeah, that sounds great. So it turns out that olive oil provides benefits that more common fats do not.
Okay.
In fact, a study found that replacing full-fat dairy with olive oil may reduce your risk of disease and death. So that right there is already a positive, and it said may. So see how it goes. But it follows a Mediterranean diet. In that diet, they use olive oil instead of margarine, butter, or other saturated fats that may protect you from dying from cancer, cardiovascular and respiratory diseases, dementia, and other conditions. They interviewed somebody, Dr. Howard Lewine, I believe. He's the chief medical editor of Harvard Health Publishing, and he stated that it's a combination of both decreasing the amount of saturated fat at the same time you're increasing the monosaturated fats found in olive oil.
So I know I'm trying to have less dairy, and I've been using olive oil-based butter. It's actually delicious, and all my kids steal it. They think it tastes better than the regular butter.
Really?
Yeah. And also like olive
butter's
oil.
good.
I know butter's very good, but it's almost got a saltiness that they like. So we're putting it on like sourdough bread, and it's just like a little salty.
That
It's
extra
really good.
little, that you need, and it's healthy. They did a study of over 90,000 participants from an American population who were followed for 30 years for this study, and they studied the effects of olive oil and mortality. So I think sometimes with studies, you're like a little hesitant. You're like, how long have you really been doing it? But yeah, 30 years seems pretty
legit.
Yes, it is legit. So people reported that eating at the highest levels of olive oils had 19% lower risk of dying from heart conditions, a 17% lower risk of dying from cancer, a 29% lower risk of dying from neurodegenerative disease, and an 18% lower risk of dying from respiratory disease mortality compared with those who never or rarely consumed olive oil.
Well, I guess we're going to Starbucks then.
It's coming
How do we
this
get our
spring.
olive oil?
All right, so people look out for those
Italian
oleatos.
ones.
We could try our own.
And another thing to note is that both the study and the editorial were published in the Journal of American College and Cardiology. So good newsworthy stuff. So going back to the Starbucks article, the CEO said that their new olive oil drinks will be more than just a new menu item, but something that they actually hope will attract customers worldwide. And I can see that. I think as long as people know about these benefits, it's very, again, similar to the Mediterranean diet. They'll see the health benefits of incorporating this. I think I may even give it a shot, and I'm not even like a Starbucks person.
I wonder if they'll market it like a health thing.
Oh,
Or just,
may.
usually it's like the
so.
oat latte, because the oat, everyone is like crazy for that, but actually it's like pretty high in calories. Like there's
really?
things that are good.
Goods and bad.
Yeah, you have like a silver lining to it, but I'm just curious
Yes.
how the Starbucks marketing geniuses will.
And so
put this
the
out
article
there.
did say, olive oil is great. It does help you as far as, using that instead of butter and other saturated fats. But you do also need to incorporate a healthy lifestyle. So eat more fruits and veggies, and it also add in fitness.
Well, and I think olive oil and the fats kind of help keep you satisfied. Like they fill you up a little bit more, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
At least that's what I've heard. I mean, I'm no expert, but
Well, I'm
All right,
going to
field trip.
incorporate
Let's go. Italy's
this.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Italy
Check it out.
Starbucks right now, right?
Add it in the budget.
Yep.
Okay. We want to hear from you. Send us your financial questions or money topics that you'd like to learn more about, and don't forget any fun local food recommendations. Our email is theperfectbite@ccculv.com.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode, brought to you by Clark County Credit Union. For additional money management tips and financial calculators, check out our website at ccculv.org. Now that was The Perfect Bite.